The future of Star Wars in video games is pretty hazy at the moment. With EA pretty much in charge of everything the property puts out, we don't really know what kinds of games we're ever going to see next. We're much more limited than when we were, say, 10 or 15 years ago. For this reason, we seem to have been in a lapse of certain kinds of genres of Star Wars games, especially open world. We seem to have always been waiting for a Star Wars open world game that never came. While some developers and some fans have gotten close, it seems that these kinds of games just aren't allowed to exist. Why hasn't there been a Star Wars open world game? And to think, the video game industry in a whole has become oversaturated with open world games. It's crazy that we never got our Star Wars GTA clone. How come we never got this? How come it was never made? And what can we do to supplement this need that a lot of us gamers that are also Star Wars fans have? Well, let's look back to 2003. What was Star Wars doing back when Rockstar was making the whole open world idea mainstream in the first place? Yep. Star Wars was going open world too. In a different kind of way, granted. Star Wars Galaxies wasn't the game that everybody was hoping for, but for me, it filled a lot of fantasies of getting to live in that galaxy finally. I don't remember ever being more hyped for a game than for Star Wars Galaxies. Not even Spore. Just the idea of getting to live in this galaxy, make your own life, your own home, your own job, whatever. It was too big of a draw. Even today, with the emulator, Star Wars Galaxies can still be enjoyed for everything it has to offer. The rich sandbox experience and giant open worlds. They gave you entire planets with multiple cities to explore. Even now, Galaxies has a very vibrant and living community, with players still keeping it alive. On top of that, Star Wars Galaxies had something no other open world MMOs could ever have. Functioning and fun spaceflight. Customizing your own ship in the Star Wars Galaxy, you just can't beat that. Now, I'm not saying that Star Wars Galaxies wasn't completely devoid of flaws. It was definitely lacking in the narrative department. A lot of the stories were only really fun if you kind of made them from your own imagination. The quest lines were just not there. They were not fun, they were boring and redundant. So around this time, BioWare took their crack at the Star Wars universe. Rather than focusing on a giant open world, they went for a non-linear narrative experience with branching storylines, branching dialogues, and a very living world to explore within, though it wasn't an open world. Knights of the Republic went on to be universally praised as the greatest Star Wars game ever made, because it's the closest we've gotten to feeling immersed as our own person inside the Star Wars universe, and that's all we've ever wanted from an open world game. On the GTA side of things, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, while an excessively linear game, had small areas like Coruscant where you could explore freely and kill civilians. This was by no means an open world, but it was as close as some of us could get to that imaginary Grand Theft Auto Star Wars, running around in a bar and shooting up random civilians as a bounty hunter. Well, that was about as close as we could get. Other than BioWare's MMO, the only choice we really have for an open-world Star Wars experience, in line with the kind of games you see from Bethesda, is a mod from Mountain Blade called Star Wars Conquest. With Star Wars Conquest, players have the opportunity to build their own character their own faction, their own crew, and travel the galaxy, either working for different factions or making their own and taking planets for the galaxy, similar to Star Wars Battlefront 2's Galactic Conquest mode, except on a much larger scale. The battles were large-scale wars where hundreds of NPCs could be on screen at once, and there were small cities and towns where you could explore and get missions. For now, it's these old games and mods and fan projects that are keeping us going and keeping us hoping for the open-world Star Wars game of the future. Hopefully it won't be too far off. But that's it for this first video. Go ahead and leave a comment about what you would like to see in an open-world Star Wars game, and who do you think should make one?